Have you known of Arthur having issues with firearms in the past?
No,
But he had a case that was pending before with you as a victim,
yes.
and in that case, it was alleged that he held a gun to your head, right?
No, not held it. No, sir, not held it to my head. He did not hold it to my head. That's what the police reported. That's not what I reported. And I went to the DA and everyone else about that. He did not, he was trying to hurt himself. And they would not go help him.
Enjoy the video, hit the like button.
All right, so what is happening with this case?
Your Honor, we're still pending the results of the competency evaluation, but we're here today on a motion to modify the bond.
Aware that the evaluation was still pending. I thought it was my understanding that we couldn't do anything if there's a competency evaluation.
No, I mean, you can't do anything as far as the actual case, but the conditions, you can do some things. So is there any, why is the request for tracking?
Your Honor, and I do have one witness who's on to testify. He's been on full house arrest for 90 days, Judge. My client's has several mental health diagnoses. He's working in conjunction with True Mental Health. I do have an exhibit there from his case managers. He's been on the shot, which is significantly improving his symptoms. We continuously have to ask for permission from pretrial for him to go to his appointment, Judge.
So can I just order that he be allowed to go to all medical appointments and they do it?
Well, Judge, that's part of it, Judge, but it is really, being at the house all the time is really affecting my client's stress levels, Judge. And so partly why I filed this motion is to see if we allow him just a little more leniency due to the fact that he's been compliant for 90 days.
Where does he want to go?
Well, Judge, he helps take care of his little sister. They go on walks, occasionally to the grocery store with his parents, things like that. Anywhere that my client goes, he's going to have to be transported by family. His grandmother, she was an RN, but she is retired. So there's someone with him at all times, Judge. And just due to the fact that he's been compliant for this long and was also in custody for over 5 months, we're asking for a little leniency from the court.
Have you conferred with the state over the bond issue?
I have, Judge.
State, are you in agreement to him being allowed tracking as long as he's with an adult?
No, Judge, we were in agreement for partial to go to appointments and work.
Okay. All right, court is going to call 2020 CR 5669 State of Texas versus Arthur Beecham. Can I have parties approach and announce for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
Defense?
Christine McDonald, Judge, and it's I'm so sorry, Judge, it's 2022 CR.
Oh, okay. I guess I said the wrong number. 2022 CR 5669. All right, defense has filed a motion to modify the defendant's conditions of bond. State, have you had a chance to review the defendant's motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are you opposed?
We are, Judge.
All right, defense, you may proceed. Do you have any witnesses?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I'd like to call my client's mom, Stephanie Good.
All right, and Mr. Beecham, if you'll just move to the side. Can you raise your, good morning. Can you raise your hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you speak up so that the court reporter can hear and so that I can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state your name for the record.
Stephanie Nicole Good. Stephanie Nicole Good.
All right, are you able to hear that? All right, yes.
Ms. Good, how are you currently employed?
Pediatric nurse through ABC Healthcare.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I need you to speak up.
Okay, pediatric nurse through ABC Healthcare.
And this is your son, Mr. Beecham.
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
And is he currently living with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Who else lives in the home?
My mother.
And what's your mother's name?
My mother's Ailing.
And she's retired right now?
Yes, ma'am. Retired registered nurse.
So she's familiar with my client's diagnosis and how to help care.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is she at the house at all times while Arthur
ma'am.
is there? Okay. We need to go one at a time because the court reporter is taking the record. Okay, so just bear with me, okay? So can you tell me, what is my client diagnosed with?
Arthur has epilepsy from birth, mood disorder, chemical imbalance, asthma, heart issues, schizophrenia. whole 9 yards of the mental health.
Okay, and can you tell me, what medications is he currently on?
Right now, he takes the Abilify shot once a month on the 15th. He also takes Wellbutrin and he also takes Zoloft.
When did he start using the, long-lasting injection?
He's been on the long-lasting injection since he was 8 years old.
And how did you get connected with True Mental Health Services?
Through referral from the mental health foundation downtown.
Okay, and is this the first time he's ever been enrolled through them?
Oh, no, man.
No, okay.
No, man.
So can you tell me what do those services look like? How often do these case managers come in contact with them?
The case managers are coming out, right now, their visits are 2 times a week. And he also receives, the nurse practitioner every 2 weeks.
Okay, and if there's ever like maybe negative symptoms or outbursts or anything that may or may not go on, how quickly can he get in to see that nurse practitioner to adjust his medication?
That's the problem, is that we haven't been able to get in too quickly because we have to call probation and then probation has to contact you and then we have to get permission. So it hasn't been easy.
And if those restrictions were lifted, would it be easier for you and your family to get him the medication?
It would definitely be a whole lot easier.
Okay, can you tell me how being on full house arrest has affected my client's mental health?
Or it's affected his mental health and it's affected our mental health in the home, but his stress levels, he also has an eating disorder. When his stress levels go high, then groceries disappear and he can't go out to leave and stuff. Going out in the front yard is not doing anything. He hasn't been to a park, he hasn't been to a grocery store, he hasn't been in.
And as part of the reason we're requesting this today to try to help get him in a better state with his mental health. Okay, and does he help care for his little sister?
Yes, he does.
How old is she?
She's 10 years old.
Okay, and is the full house arrest kind of inhibiting that as well?
Now,
Okay, and would you say that his symptoms have improved since he's been on that injector?
oh yes, definitely.
Is there anything else you want to tell the court when the judge considers whether or not to grant him tracking only as a condition of his due process?
The only thing that I have to say is Arthur's not allowed to drive. We take him to and from wherever he needs to be. He doesn't have a driver's license and he's not allowed to drive. So if he goes anywhere, it would be with me or my mother.
Possible instruction.
State?
Thank you, Judge. I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't catch your name.
Stephanie Good?
Are you aware of the facts of why Arthur's here?
Yes,
The
sir.
present case?
Yes, sir.
And so you're aware that it's alleged that he shot an individual?
Yes.
I cannot hear.
Sorry.
Everybody's whispering.
Have you known of Arthur having issues with firearms in the past?
No, sir.
But he had a case that was pending before with you as a victim,
Yes.
and in that case, it was alleged that he held a gun to your head, right?
No, not held it. No, sir, not held it to my head. He did not hold it to my head. That's what the police reported. That's not what I reported. And I went to the DDA and everyone else about that. He did not, he was trying to hurt himself. And they would not go help him.
But he was using a firearm in that
He had a
incident also.
firearm in that incident, yes.
What was going on with him at that time to where he
He was in a suicidal fit. He was in one of his rages. He had been off his medication for over 2 months. And that's a lot of what we go through.
was he off his medication during this present offense?
Yes, he was.
Your Honor, I'll pass away.
Ms. Good, are you aware of the resources that are available should my client suffer a mental episode like he has in the past?
Yes, ma'am, I am. That's why part of this is good things happen and bad things happen. I'm thankful that I have more people to help me have this medication on a regular basis. The more important.
I'll pass it.
Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
I have a couple.
Okay.
Yes. So how old is your mother?
My mother,
Yes.
she is 68.
And who lives in the home now?
It's me, my mother, my daughter, and Arthur.
And so is he ever in the home by himself with just him and his younger sister?
Yes.
So sometimes it's just him and his younger sister and
Yes.
nobody else?
Yeah, but if my mom goes to the store or if I'm at work, yes, it could be them two at home. No.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Judge, I do have one exhibit that I'd like to enter as defense exhibit 1. It
All right, you
is-
may take a seat.
I'm sorry, Judge. It is a letter from his progress towards keeping up with his mental health has improved drastically, Judge. From the letter from True Mental Health, not only is he participating, they keep commenting how increasing how his motivation is in this treatment, Judge. That injection that he's getting is long lasting, and the reason we're requesting this is to make sure that his mental health continues to improve, Judge. As you heard from Ms. Good, that he's not going to be without someone from his family. We're just requesting a little more leniency so he can go to the park, maybe a grocery store, Judge. He will be monitored still. We're not asking for removal of the monitor. Additionally, Judge, I know that you did read that offense report. However, there are there's at least one witness who does mention that the complaining witness says that he has a piece also, Judge, which probably is not reflected in that report. Also, what is not reflected in that report, and from my conversation with the state at the first setting, the complaining witness in this case also has cases pending against him as well, Judge. We're still pending on the competency eval to see how this case is going to be resolved, Judge. But until then, we're just asking for an opportunity for my client to have a little bit more freedom to go with his family to places he needs. If this court is concerned with him staying with his 10-year-old sister alone in the home, allowing tracking only so he can go on these errands with his family would alleviate that as well, Judge. So we're respectfully requesting that you consider tracking only into my client's compliance while on bond this far.
All right,
Judge, I believe we were here a few months past that. I guess the reason the defendant was able to get out of custody was because we agreed to lower his bond on the condition of full GPS hyperdex. He has done well on full GPS. He's complying with medications. But obviously the concern is based on the facts of the case as well as what the witness testified to, is that he could be put in a situation to where he's a danger to others. Both instances, both the past incident involving his mom, as well as this one involved a firearm, where he escalated in this situation allegedly and shot someone. So we believe that it's important to limit his interactions with individuals, not only to, I guess, protect the defendant, but also society as a whole. So while we would agree to some modification, we do not believe that tracking only would be, we would be opposed to that.
do you have an issue with curfew?
We would, Judge.
All right, so you just want him on full house arrest?
No, we would agree to partial to go to certain locations.
But not a curfew?
I don't think, I mean, because like this instance, Judge, it's alleged to have happened on a bus with a random individual. And so I don't think a curfew would prevent something like that from potentially happening again.
And Judge, we would not be opposed to an exclusion zone for via bus station or the complaining witness's address.
All right, and you're saying partial as to how?
For anything that's necessary, so doctor's appointments, if he needs to take his mom or needs to go with someone somewhere, grocery store, things like that. But I don't think like just walking around the neighborhood would be just considered necessary, Judge.
All right. What I can do is I'll start him off on partial, and with partial, what I'll allow is if he can go to any medical appointments that he has. He can go to the grocery store and places with his mother or either his grandmother, as long as they accompany him.
So he will be able to go to, as long as he's supervised.
Yes, he can go to the grocery store If his grandmother, his mother, are going to the grocery store, going to wherever they need to go for necessities, he's allowed to go with them. So we're going to start that off and see how that goes. And if that goes well, then you can come back in a couple of months and we'll see where we are from then. And of course, I know the holidays are coming up, so I want to see how that works out. But he will be allowed, unless there's an objection from the state, he will be allowed if there's Thanksgivings, events at some other relative's house, he will be allowed to go to that other relative's house. Do you have any objection to that?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So he will be allowed to participate in Thanksgiving celebrations with family, Christmas celebrations with family, but he has to be accompanied by an adult. And that adult can either be his mom or it can be his grandmother, because my understanding is those are the two people who know best about his issues and how to handle those.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I was wondering if I want to go to the gym, working out. I'll be stressing. I'll be trying to find some way to unstress. I'll be doing push-ups and stuff, but that's not. I'm a big dude, you know.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this, Mr. Beecham. We're going on this step by step. So I want to see how this works out first. And then your attorney can come back in about 2 to 3 months. And if everything is working out, then the court can reconsider other things.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else?
No, you're right.
All right. All right. The other thing we need to address, when is this set? Ms. Ferguson, can you look up?
December. Well, it's December.
December 12th. All right. So it's December 12th. All right. So I will see you all back on December 12th. And if there's an issue with pretrial services who's monitoring him, just let the court know.
That's all I have, Judge. May I excuse?
Your excuse. Thank you. You're welcome.